So this is the fourth video in the Lending 101 video series. And in the first video, we quickly talked about having our initial pre-purchase dreams and goals call. It's a 15-minute kind of fact-finding call where we get to know a lot about the buyer and go through that process with them and explain next steps, which is getting an application completed and then starting to collect documentation after that so we can get that reviewed. And then in the second call, we have our mortgage planning session, which is a kind of more of a 30-minute longer Zoom video typically, where we go over our entire kind of bulletproof buyer strategy, the entire process, what makes our team unique, and how we can help get our mutual buyers into a home without overpaying for it and just creating a really stress-free and seamless process. We educate them on the market, what kind of real estate's done over history, and why waiting to buy may not be fruitful, and kind of the cost of waiting software and things that we have. So it's really just a full kind of educational journey during that 30-minute Zoom call where we go over, again, the mortgage planning session and kind of everything that they're about to take on as they start looking at property with you as their real estate professional. In the third video, we talked about the pre-offer consult. They found a house that they really like. They want to pursue an offer. And so what we want to do is collaborate together as a group and figure out, how do we strategize on that offer? Is the seller going to pay the buyer's agent's commission of, let's say, 2.5%? And if they're not, how do we structure that into the offer? How quickly can we close? Do we need to waive financing? All of those things are part of the pre-offer consultation, which again was video number 3. And so now in video 4, this is the contract meeting, which is the offer has been accepted. The client's really happy. We now have timelines we have to hit to get them into their property. And so what we want to show here is just a quick call and video, if typically that we do. Otherwise, I will record this video for our clients and then I will send it to them so they kind of have a synopsis of what to expect next. So in the contract meeting, this is the during part of the process. Now they're actually in contract. We have to perform and we have to get them closed on time and add a cash to close and payment that they were expecting. And so we talk about protecting their money in escrow, so that earnest money deposit, and how we have to make sure we close on time so that earnest money is protected. We'll go over the current market, what's going on with rates. Should we lock you? Should we float you? We kind of break all that down during this call so that they understand our strategy to try to time the market as best we can. Now that you're in contract as a buyer, we can legally lock your rate in now. And that's a key part of this kind of call is, should we, again, lock you today? Should we maybe float the rate and wait? We talk about product selection, which by now they've already kind of know what they're going to get. Down payment options, they again should know a lot of this based on our previous calls and conversations, so that there's not a bunch of confusion on product type, how much they're putting down, because they've already known that going into this, but we just confirm all those details with them. And then we'll talk about the long-term plan, which is about 70% of the value we bring our clients is after the loan closes. And so we'll talk about our rate redo program and how we're going to keep in touch with them post-closing, but that the stressful part of the process, the exciting part is they're in contract and now they're, moving towards the end game of being in their home. So this is an exciting part for our buyers, and we want to make sure we give them a great experience and we're there for them each step of the way. The main steps, starting on the top left, the transaction started. So, we confirm with our clients, nothing's changed for you financially, right? Same job. You haven't given notice. You haven't acquired more debt, meaning you've gotten a car loan since we last communicated and got you approved. You haven't opened up any new accounts. We talk about, how we're going to vest with title, whether they're married, who wants to be on title, legal names, all the loan info. So we go over all that. And then we talk about initial disclosures, which is the step here on the bottom, that we're going to be sending those out to them shortly to e-sign through DocuSign. We talk about the kind of 24-hour response, that when we get those out to you, we want to get those back from you e-sign within a day. We talk about our updater portal, our platform, which is basically a free service we give our buyers that they get notified via email through Updater, which is a company that will help them with moving, update their utilities, cable, internet, all of that stuff. Contacts USPS, the postal service, to update their mailing address. All that's a free service we give them through Updater. So we talk about that briefly. We've gotten a lot of great feedback from that tool, and we let them know it's coming from not only our team, but from you as well. We talk about homeowners insurance. Do you have your homeowners insurance contact, or would you like a referral? If they would like a referral, which oftentimes they do, we will provide a really good homeowners insurance broker that our clients work with that has really good pricing and can get us an insurance binder very quickly. So we go over all that there. We then order the appraisal. After the inspection has been satisfied and cleared, we'll then order the appraisal with you as the agent's kind of approval to do so, and the buyers. And so during that process, we get the loan moving forward. We get conditional approval again through with underwriting, where more often than not, our clients are already approved prior to contract anyways. So this is a very seamless, pretty easy process. And then we talk about the closing disclosure, which is known as the CD. So when you hear the term CD, it stands for closing disclosure. That's the final numbers to the penny. We go over that document with our buyers before they go in and sign with escrow. And so the CD is a very important document throughout the loan journey. And so we make sure, again, what we disclosed up front is part of their initial disclosures right here in the second step. That has what's called a loan estimate in there. We want to make sure the closing disclosure they get later on in the process is very similar to that upfront loan estimate. We take a lot of pride in that. We want to make sure the payment and the cash to close is very close to what they're expecting. There'll be some nuance because some of the fees are third-party fees that we don't control. The homeowner's insurance might be slightly higher or lower than we originally estimated based on the premium that they got. All that's normal, but we want to be close. And so we then get the clear to close. Once the appraisal's back, we have final loan approval. We then get docs out to escrow, which is the doc signing, and then they will legally sign either with a mobile notary that comes to their work or their home, or they can go into the escrow office themselves. They will sign their paperwork, and then it funds and records at the county courthouse without the buyers present or really needing to do anything. So in Washington State, signing and closing are not the same thing. You're going to sign typically a business day before your actual close or fund date of your loan. Other states have different protocol, and they call the terminology is slightly different. But in Washington State, the signing and the closing occur typically on different days. Now, we can do what's called a table fund, which is you can sign and fund same day, but that requires the buyer to have to sign early in the morning, the day of their closing, which we definitely would like to avoid. It just creates a lot of stress and kind of work for everyone to try to cram that all through in one day. So again, signing and closing are different days in our state here in Washington. And so once it closes and records at the county courthouse is when legally you as the agent will issue the keys to the buyer, give them the good news, give them the housewarming gift and all that, and they can move on their way. With a mortgage, one thing that you may or may not know as an agent, the mortgage payment is due a calendar month after they close. So for example, let's say they closed in June on their home. Typically, they don't have a payment due that entire calendar month after. So in the month of July, in this example, there would be no mortgage payment. Their first payment wouldn't be due until August 10th or sooner. So that first week or so of August. So that's a perk for buyers that they don't pay a mortgage the calendar month after they close, because mortgages are paid in what we call arrears. They always pay a month behind, which is the opposite of rent, which you're always paying a month ahead. So it's it's totally different than rent, where rent's always paid forward, where mortgages, you're always paying a month behind. So you'll skip that first month for that sequence to occur. And so just be aware of that, which, first time buyers, especially who've never bought before, they like to hear that as part of the process. And so that's it for now. This is, we talk about our team really quick, kind of how they're feeling, the stress aspect, and just know when we request documents from them, updated items, we need them back within 1 to 2 days to keep us on track. So we really kind of hammer that point to make sure we're not delaying closing because they're just not responding and getting items to us quickly. So that's it for now. I hope you find great value in video number 4, which again is the contract meeting. And we will be back next week with video number 5, which is talking about the closing disclosure document before we wrap up the transaction. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.